Okay. Hi, everybody. Tania here. And this live I'm excited about because my nearest and dearest friend, Ahu Smith, is here with me. She and I met, oh my God, 20 years ago in Tucson, Arizona, back before I ever became a mother. And she is the one who actually introduced me to Crystalline Consciousness Technique. And she's the one that encouraged me and nudged me to take my first ever CCT class in Sedona, Arizona. And that was 17 years ago. So Ahu is an amazing poet, artist, singer, musician. What else? I'm missing something. Actor, of course. She was in Basket Case, a great weird B movie, horror flick.
Stop.
So she's got one of her paintings behind her there. She lives in Morocco. Did I say that already? Yeah, amazing painter. She's art brut is her style. So thank you, Ahu, for joining. I love you so much.
I love you more.
So we're just gonna have fun here, have a conversation.
Okay.
So tell us, gosh, I don't know where to start. Where to start? Where should we start? So yeah, tell me about, like, I'm just curious, like way back when, I'll never forget, like, I think you like called me on the phone. I mean, I was living in Sedona, you were in Tucson, and you must have told me that Gia was going to be teaching a CCT level 1 class. And I think you called me and you said, Tania, this woman is amazing. You have to take her class. I was like, okay, like no question. I was like, yeah, okay, sign me up. How much is it? Boom. I just went. That was it. I didn't even question. I didn't even go and look it up. I didn't even talk to the lady. I was just like, okay, who do I give my money to? And that was it. That was the beginning. That was it. That was like the first step down into the rabbit hole, so to speak, of CCT. It was a long, long rabbit hole.
Oh, I'm glad you remember.
Because you don't.
I mean, I remember, years ago, you just like jumped into something without doing any due diligence. That's sure.
Yep.
But you've grown a lot since then.
Hallelujah.
More and more and more and more awake. Yeah, that happens when you get like slapped around a bit,
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you want to ask me any, questions of great distance of memory.
Oh, well,
I mean,
I don't know. So yeah, I mean, like, the question was like,
so
you don't remember, like, why?
Okay, I don't, okay, look, what I remember is energy, right? I remember you as a creature. You were a creature. And like, I've only called one other woman a creature. And I don't mean that in like some alien sense, but this kind of embodiment of this feminine grace and like, the body, even the body is like long and sinewy and, like moves with such like, like a creature. So I was like, I was always drawn to that because you were more like, in the ethers and, you had this kind of very, unbeknownst to you, I think, this amazing, healing energy, just, you didn't even have to do anything. You know, you just like sit next to you and you just, you know, calm down, you know, or dance next to you and you just get excited, or cry with you and you just really cry, you know, like birth with you, and you just embody like this feminine energy. So this is what I remember. I don't remember like, well, I called her up in 1949 and then I, you know, I don't remember that shit. I don't want to remember that. I have so much, you know, so many filing systems in my my memory. It's like, I'm gonna pull this one out. Like, oh yeah, 1947. Like, oh, it was 1980. It's like, anyway. So I just love you so much for, you know, just who you are for me. Like, you know, the energy that I am when I'm with you, and how much you inspire that feminine just ether. That's all I can say. Feminine ether. The big FE.
The big FE. It's got a catch. It's got a catch.
It's gonna catch on, yeah, one of these days. Yeah, so that's what I remember. And you know, the CCT was for me, you know, I had one session with Gia. She was, before she even downloaded the information, and I got a massage from her, and it was not your ordinary massage. It was like you went into different realms, you know, and I'm like, you are not doing massage here. You're doing something else, you know, to her, you know. Anyway, so I was at the very first CCT class. So, and I was not ready to be a human then. What does that mean? I just, you know, I had a hard time accepting my humanness. And yeah. And you know, I accept it more now, especially, you know, yeah, just working on that. So you know,
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think that's hard for a lot of people. I think, like, for me, I always thought like, oh, I could be an angel or a saint or something, you know, like I didn't want to be in the messiness of being human. I didn't want to get angry or get messy or any of that, you know. Just, I think I like, I think for me too, embracing that humanness is something that's definitely a deeper process that takes a long time.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that I've gotten there somewhat, I think. Yeah, I mean, I no longer scare people. You know, when I go out in public, which, you know, I have to really be ready to do that because I'm very sensitive. But when I go out there, like, people are just attracted, like I'm a magnet now. And I think it's because of, you know, all the different, many different, you know, methodologies and protocols and different tools that I've collected along my path. And, you know, as I've gotten older, I just realized that I just am all of that. I don't have to study it. I don't have to kind of sit and do it, you know, like just being next to the people that I'm called to be with. That it teaches you, just their silence can teach me everything, you know, their look, you know, like, I don't know, my mind's going to, people ask me like, well, how can you go to all these different places and not know the language? And I think that's what has really captivated my humanness, is the fact that I don't speak all those languages, but the one language I do speak is in the eyes and in the body language and in the heart. Because you don't, you know, language, like just the words and the formations of those sounds are one thing. But when you look into someone's eyes and you make them laugh by just eye contact and body language, and you're rolling on the floor with a nomad in the Atlas who's never even encountered somebody like you, then you realize that the language of love is the only thing there is. And if you can get past, the constraints of English, French, you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere and be, happy. Just learn like, hi, how are you? How's the family? And give me some water. That's it.
Yeah, where's the bathroom? Yeah.
I mean, that's how I learned baños in Mexico. Like I didn't know the word for bathroom, and I went into a restaurant, and this woman behind the bar, I just pantomime pulling down my pants and squatting. I mean, I didn't really put them things, and she was like, "Oh, baños!" But I mean, it accomplished two things. It made her love me instantly, and I learned that I will never forget baños.
Yeah. So it's almost like what I'm hearing. It's like it's about like embodiment, So it's like when I think of like bringing that back to like CCT or energy, let's say, it's getting you out of your head into out of your mind and just like, yeah, into your body. Like, okay, we're human. Like I'm in this body. How do I connect? Yeah. What can I emit energetically for people to understand me? Exactly. And I think that's like, and that's really like, oh my gosh, I really think deep down, like we all, like, I feel like the deepest need that we have is connection, connection. That's, whatever you're going through, it's about, to me, I feel like, okay, if you're depressed, if you're angry, if you're whatever it is, all the challenges, a lot of it just comes from the disconnect, right? So how to reconnect? How do we connect?
Yeah, I mean, I used to see sad people or downtrodden people or something, and I would be so empathetic. I would go down with them. But when I see that I'm of service, instead of going down with them, I instantly now go to, how can I serve this person right now? Just energetically, not getting involved in their, drama and everything, but in that moment, in that glance of the eye, of that touch of the shoulder, or, reaching for their hand, touch, is, connection. It's, it's like, the whole system is moving us away from the senses. That's why nature is screaming and so important to go and touch. Our true nature is touching and hearing and smelling and tasting and seeing and, like, right?
Yeah.
So
humanness.
Yeah, because, you know what? When we stay here, it's, first of all, it's just boring.
Yeah.
I definitely am my home entertainment center, but because I don't like to be bored, so to go out, when I step out that door, like from my home where my recharge center is, when I go out there, I'm totally of service to the planet by each individual that I meet. I don't have to stand on a podium and have lots of, protesters around. It's going out with that energy that I know ripples, that I know once you connect with that one person, it goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. Yeah. And oh, wow, if we could all just do that.
Right? Oh my God.
It would go everywhere, but we don't trust. Yeah. We're being taught to fear that. To fear that. I was in Medina. I'm in Essaouira by the ocean. That's where I live. And last night I was taking around my friend's brother, who had come in. There's a festival happening. And we ran into 20 women taking a picture. And I started like dancing so they'd laugh, or something, just because that's what I do. That's how I roll, right? And they just like, ah! And it turns out they were 20 Jewish women from LA.
Oh.
Because this festival is all about the Jewish and the Berber, the indigenous people of Morocco. They're starting a tolerance movement here.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just got tingles.
Yeah, it's a tolerance movement because, there was many Jewish people here where they lived peacefully with the Berbers, and then they were, out. So it's slowly coming. I mean, this is a beautiful country in so many ways. Anyway, they were telling me how afraid they were. I had them captivated, like in front of me, they're like, you live here? Ooh, ooh, and they were really intrigued because they had driven through a little village in the mountains, and there were only men selling things. And I'm like, that happens everywhere. And they said, we were really scared and we keep our purses really close to us. And I go, listen, I have to tell you something. You are safer here than in the United States of America. There's no drive-by shootings. There's no school shootings. I've been coming here since 2015. I lived here a year and a half then, 2013. Never have I gotten robbed or somebody tried to rape me or anything. Nothing. And they were terrified because of this. Couldn't take the mind away and feel.
Right.
They couldn't feel.
They couldn't projecting. Just projecting.
Yeah. They could not feel. They could not say to themselves or even do due diligence to think like, these men have families they're providing for. They have crops. They've worked really freaking hard to get these vegetables on these little tables. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like we're going back to what you were saying about like this disconnection. It's like, for me, what I see is that people are not connected to their intuition anymore.
Oh God.
They have to go Google it or listen to the news or I don't know what. Like, there isn't any gut instinct, like that feeling.
And that's why I like to be here, because that intuition, that third eye, that brow point is like alive and well here. And I think, I'm not a religious person, but I think that it's because everybody here, it's a God country. It's a God country. And everybody's praying, not everybody, but at least you're reminded 5 times a day, 365 days a year, to thank God. Not only in the call to prayer, but before you eat, before you get on a bike, but when you talk to people, like everything, hand to heart, all day, every day. And they don't panic. There was no panic during the COVID thing. Nothing, no panic. It was just a beautiful thing to be, and they're right here. They see you. They see you. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going off the topic. I don't know.
I know. I think what you're sharing is like really, 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 really valuable. That just to remind. I don't know who's going to watch this from where, but to know that it's available. The choice to connect and the choice to decide, I'm going to live by my intuition. You are, to me, an example of a woman who never gave up on any of her dreams. And so what I find really fascinating about you, Ahu, is that you never you never stopped living. It's like you didn't reach an age and be like, okay, well, that's just how life is. Like you know, painting, and I'm fascinated by your desire to paint, because I remember when you and I met, you would look at my painting and just go like, oh, I just wish I could paint, like, you know, whatever. Right? There was all this pining for painting, and then finally it was just like, God, I just want to paint so bad, but I'm not you have this thing, this belief, like, I'm not a painter though. Like, I don't have any training, I don't want to, like, all this stuff. But at some point, and I don't know if it was like like at some point you just decided or what, but you just started to paint. So, you know, I work with women who are looking for their purpose, right? They want to be alive. They want to be connected to who they really are, you know, like, and break away from all the roles and stuff that they've chosen to be, and just like really be themselves. And so like, you're somebody who's just like, fuck, I really want to paint. So you just started painting, even though you doubted, even though you're like, I don't know if it's any good. No, I remember. And then I'd look at your stuff. I'm like, oh, your stuff is extremely original. You know why? Because it's raw, because it's coming from you. It's not you're not trying to emulate some other painter or be somebody else or copy some other style. It was just you. And so I don't know, I'm just really blown away, because you had your first showing with actually a very well-known artist in Morocco, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I guess I just want to share that, like, you are like, to women who are watching this, they're like, oh, I don't know, you know, it's too late for me, or I can't really go for that thing because I just, you know, I just never did it, or there's not enough time. Who knows, whatever the beliefs are. I guess I just want to say, like, if you have something that's burning inside of you that wants to be birthed and expressed, it's never too late. And it's always there for you, and it's possible. It just takes that courage and that choice to just trust and just do it, you know, like, trust that what brings you joy is what you're supposed to be following. That's what you're supposed to be doing, right? I don't know. Can you talk about that for just a little bit?
Well, definitely the intuition plays a part. I mean, a massive part, because I remember when I was younger saying to myself, one day I'm going to paint. And, you know, I did all this other mediums along the way that I've actually influenced my painting in a very unusual way, right? So I think that, you know, I think people have it wrong. I don't want to be negative, but I think it's not a matter of focusing on, I think it's, if, you know, it's like focusing on the feeling of what you want, because, and it's not trust, it's trusting that the opportunities will present themselves in ways that you might not understand or recognize.
Mm.
Right? And so you push them out of the way because you've thought in your mind of the way it's going to show up for you. And you miss it. You miss it. It's like the woman that goes, well, I want a man who's tall, dark, and handsome. But along comes this man that truly loves her and maybe is short, stout, and maybe not a 10. But he loves her. He's going to give her the feeling that she wants, but she totally negates that, because she's still looking for the form of how she thinks it's supposed to unfold. And that's where the intuition plays the biggest part, is like sensing, because we all get intuition all day long. I call it the slice of light that comes like, and it comes really quick. And what we do is we get that intuition instantly. We know the answer to everything we want to know. But what we do is we take that answer and we analyze it. Well, what if this happens? And then you go down these roads of all the questions and doubts, and then all of a sudden you have forgotten your original slice of light. You've forgotten. And so you get into confusion and you're trying all this thing just because it's not based on this, you know, your belief and your strong intuition. I call it the command, God's command center. This is the blueprint right here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You forget that. You forget that. And you go off on these tangents, and then you end up way over here. And you can't remember. You can't remember what what the original, what that was. What was that answer? And so the difference between me and another person is I trust that. And I keep to that. And I may say to myself, yes, yes. And it might not be present at the moment, but I'm always watching for opportunity. And the opportunity to paint came in the form of a woman. I mean, who knew that this was how I was going to start painting? Lou, you know, Lou and
in Stockholm, right?
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to go look at this studio. Will you go with me? Yeah, I'll go with you. You like it? Yeah. It was really small. Yeah, I'm going to decorate it. You want to help me? Yeah, I want to help you. So I'm saying, oh, you want to come here on Sundays and, you know, have a little table here. You start painting. You can use everything I have. And I go, yeah. And it just I went every Sunday. And then it just developed and developed and developed and developed. We had a little show. In 6 months, I was doing a show in Stockholm. I was like, whoa. And then, you know, of course, I moved to Morocco, and then, you know, anyway, so I just kept painting. You know, and that's really, and I didn't know that was going to be how, through the generosity and intense love of this woman supporting my dream that I don't even think she knew. I said to myself, I'm going to paint one day, you know, blah, 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 blah. She just like,
she said, just join me. Yeah.
She joined me, you know, just do it. Just come and do it, you know? So you just don't know how your askings are going to be, how they're going to show up. So you've got to, that's why it's an every moment practice.
Yeah.
Every moment.
Practice. Yeah. Every moment is a new opportunity, really. And that's the thing I woke up to today. I'm like, today is a new day. Forget your past. Yeah. It's a new day. You get a chance to start over every day, every moment. You can choose anew. You can make different choices.
It's hard for people. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, but
it's why you're there.
Yeah, but I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. And you too. So I want to close with your poetry. So you have a poem to share. So Ahu writes poetry. She's published now a second book, which you can get on Amazon. And so she's going to read a poem to close and enjoy.
I walk along the path of surrender. Let go of the beauty I counted on. The beauty that held skin to sky. Sleepless nights, wondering, did I give myself enough? Did I create time for loving myself as I am? Claim it. Beauty is my skin deep. A life well lived streaks across my face, body, mind, spirit. I wear the stories, insult them, marry them, bury them, release them, hold them all here on my flesh story. The ground pulls at me, invites me under. I won't go politely. I surrender my beauty inside creams and salves, holding back the past, holding back tears, strangling fear, silver hair streams down my back. Memories worn, torn, uncut. Thank you, Tania.
I love that so much. It's so good. Oh my God. I have to order your book. I just have to get out and order your book. So good. Anyway, I just want to, yeah. So guys, I will send me a link to your book, Ahu, so I can post it. Okay. And thank you so much for sharing from your heart. It's so, everything you said is just like so full and so rich. And I hope it inspires somebody out there today. So
I love you so much, Tania.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love you. Bye.